Alright, here's the first little bracket that I've started making to hold down the tachometer here. And it's just kind of a little stirrup shape. Obviously you can see a couple of bends here. This one's about 90, this one's a little bit greater than 90. And there's also a little bit of a twist in there as well. And basically what I'm going to bolt it to are these two little ribs right here. So obviously they're kind of going in different directions and different angles and stuff, so I match those angles with this little stirrup shaped bracket. So what I'm going to do next is come in here. As you see here, I've already drilled the holes in there in the bracket. So I'm going to come in here, drill this hole through the plastic, and I'm actually going to bolt it and then come over onto this side and drill the hole through the plastic and bolt that as well. And what that'll effectively give me is a place to bolt down another little strap. It's kind of going to go across the top like that. Drill a couple holes through there and matching holes through the flat part here on the top, and I'll be able to bolt down the little strap here on the top of the that I'll make for the top of the tachometer. Alright, let me get a close-up of this bracket right here. You can see how it's bolted to these little ribs in between these pockets right here on the back. And I've also gone ahead and made the second bracket, which bolts to the rib right there in between the two large little buckets. And I also drilled one through the front just because it doesn't have a support on this side. This would be towards the bottom. The steering column would be right here. There's really nowhere to bolt it. So this was just kind of free floating, and so I gave it an extra support. I drilled through the front, and I'm not really worried about it. I'm using those little number 6 button head black oxide screws, and I've got 2 in there already mounting these 4 little gauges over here. So it's centered up and it's fairly discreet. You see it, but your eye doesn't go directly to it. So so this, and you can see here, I've got it up level with the top of the speedometer, which, as I mentioned in the last video, is higher than the level of the back of the tachometer. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make my cross bracket that'll go from here across the tachometer, put a bend, a 90-degree bend up, a 90-degree bend back over, and that'll hold the tachometer in place. The speedometer is going to be something similar. Either I'll use the factory bracket, which came with the speedometer, or I'll just whip up another one out of this thin 1/8" aluminum. But that'll go across diagonally, of course, and I'll have another bracket, probably something similar to this, similar to one of these two. I haven't totally decided yet, but that'll be over here coming up, and then another bracket, I'll use my little ruler, will come across the top, and so it'll bolt over here as well as over here, something like that. So I've got this that 1.5" wide aluminum that I used over here. I'm going to use that to make my bracket across here, and I may use the 1.5, or I had to go buy another stick of this 3/4 inch wide. I may use the 3/4 wide to go across here, but up here I'm almost certainly going to need the 1.5" wide, and I've got it in my head, and I'll make it and I'll show you later. It's hard to describe, so stick with me and we'll keep going on this.